And they say, whenever it feels difficult to go on, you just remember the reason you started, and that's what keeps me going. And then I'm gonna go keep doing it and doing it and doing it forever and ever. Many more episodes to come. So yes, doesn't matter the situation, the circumstances. But anyway, why am I boring you with those unnecessary things? But yes, but just do remember that whenever something inside says stop, oh, it's getting tough, it's getting steep, it's getting whatever, or complicated, just remember the reason you started, right? Then you just go on. Like I'm in content, just keeps. But yeah, I'm in politics, just get stressful, threats get whatever on the way. Just remember the reason you started. And my reasons for starting actually was making sure that the names of the winners of the players that win every weekend gets remembered. They just keep ringing in your heads on and on and on. And that's how these kids, these champs, these players become celebs. And then they represent brands. And then they become, and they get endorsed. And then they get all of this reputation that gets them like some serious deals, man. Imagine chess players rocking branded material because they've got an endorsement by that or a player, a chess champion represent. I used to dream that Manolo would be given a deal by what is this company, the one for champions, the breakfast for champions. You probably know it, oats or something, jungle. Yes, and because when he was still young and shining, I'm like, I see him representing that brand or presenting that brand and advertising for that brand because I mean, ah, man. But I think it was difficult to do it because we didn't have platforms like this to remind people that there are champions out there that are out there leaving and obviously having breakfast in the mornings and then in the day kicking ass. Yeah, man. But yeah, let's get to it. Welcome to it. This is Chess and Wine, and I am AD still. I'm not sure. The camera is supposed to be somewhere here, but I'm always looking here. So I don't know what I'm looking at. I can't get a hold of this thing. I'm not getting used to it. But yes, you will see that I'm trying to look at you, you looking at me. But here, I think I'm looking at you and I'm looking at that. Let me just remind you of some of the champions that we have so far. Like in the last few weeks, I think we've had a tournament in Cape Town, the Cape of Good Hope, and it was won. Yeah. Listen to these. These names are going to just keep ringing and ringing in your heads. The top three players for the Cape of Good Hope Championship sections were Rogov Matfei, that international player that apparently was on holiday in Cape Town, just keeps winning tournaments every now and then. Is Russia that strong? Is he from Russia? I think somebody said he was from Russia. So Rogov Matfei won this tournament with 6 out of 6. And at second place was Miesta Charlton. I kept telling you about this boy with 5.5 points out of 6. Or was it 5 points? Yes. And then at third place was Klein Schmidt Chewin. So this must be the top players in Cape Town right now, right? Like, I'm not getting it. These boys are just doing it. They're just doing the things. Right. And also Tshwane Chess had a tournament as well, the Tshwane Chess Open. And first place was Felix Rafael. And at second place was Kutsia DeWild. And at third place was Marie Nina, a lady. And what made me realize that this tournament was strong is that I saw James Dinham at number 4 or number 5. And that is the boomer remover. Dude, what happened? That's when I realized, okay, it must have been a very proper tournament, a proper competition. It wasn't an easy win for this other players. Because I mean, if it was easy, at the top would be you, Denham. Right. The boomer remover was removed from the prizes. All right. And then the Hartbees sport by the Bojanala Chess Federation. Also, this is what happened. The top player was Mabusela Johannes, the owner of the Mabusela Johannes Chess Academy, right? The champ himself. He won this one, followed by Tike Karabo and Banele Mango. So yeah, and we're looking forward to the Limpopo Close Championship, which is taking place in the next few days, very soon. Yeah, so this one we're going to be following live because I see that there's a link for us to be able to watch the games if we want to. Chess players like watching games, so we're going to get to see this one. The top players to look out for are Mahlangu Silo, the 2200 rated player so far, the top rated player in Limpopo. 22, this guy just snuck up on the top 10, the national top 10. He's just, yeah. So now he's the top player in Limpopo. And then there's Mailula Matoban, and that is Gun Trigger. And Selepe Lwazi and Mahomula, the young Mr. Mahomula as well, the young one. he's also one of the top players to look out for in that championship. So far, yeah, that's what's been happening out in the world of chess. That's what we've been seeing. We're looking forward to more events taking place in the next few weekends so that we can just speak about this thing, speak about these champs, and see what other provinces are doing to improve and develop chess, and obviously bring about development, improvements, and give our players a platform to shine. And obviously, in the midst of all of this that's happening, we see that regions are still trying to come up. And I'm going to stay on this because we still have the issue of South African chess politics. And the funny thing is, there was this group chat where some of the leaders, council members, I'll call them that, the leaders in the chess South Africa scene, provincial leaders, Western Cape, Eastern Cape, Northwest or something. I think we're in the same group with them, and they were trying to discuss. Obviously, I think there was a post by the Namibian Chess Federation having had their elections, and then someone mentioned that, wow, that was a smooth election meeting, the AGM. Wow, and it just went smoothly. There were no contests, there was no beef, no battle afterwards, and it just ended. And people were shocked, they were surprised, not necessarily, but people was like, wow, okay, so it happens within Africa. And then it came out that, oh, South Africa is still having this issue. We hope that we could have the same thing happening in South Africa in the next few months, as we're also looking to have an election in South Africa, right? And so obviously we'll pull in these leaders, like there is in that very same group, there is a leader of the Zone 4.5. Yeah. And then the Zone 4.5 is like the southern, because FIDE decided to divide the African Chess Confederation into zones. So there's a Zone 4.5, which includes Swatini, Namibia, Botswana, and South Africa. I think there's 4 or 5 countries, and Malawi, because the president of that Zone 4.5 is from Malawi, so it's Malawi as well. And then there's obviously the African Confederation leadership in that very same group. And I'm sure there's a FIDE leadership in that group as well. So when we bring in the issue of Chess South Africa, the leadership of the ACC and the Zone 4.5 is trying to distance themselves. Like, we would like to help, but we can't talk about this issue right here. Why? Because, I mean, it's an issue that is happening within your zone. Like, people want to know, what have you been doing? What have you tried to help resolve the issue? And the leader is like, yeah, we are looking at it with interest. Come on, looking at it with interest. Is that what we need from our leaders? And then the next thing, she comes up and she says, well, South Africa has so many issues with so many sporting codes. And we hear that in the other sporting codes, people are killing each other. So chess is not the only one. So we're not going to say anything. We think SASCOC should get their house in order. I'm like, what? So they're blaming SASCOC in an issue, in a matter, in fact, that they're supposed to also have a role in, to play a role in resolving. So they're saying, since SASCOC can't solve it, can't resolve it, well, what? Because they, I mean, if, I don't know, maybe if they choose you to be the president of the Zone 4.5, your only role is to organize Zone 4.5 championships and be there. I don't know. Like, the thing is, we don't know what the roles of these people are. And we're looking, the thing is, we report issues to them because we're looking to get an idea of what they're supposed to be doing, right? Like, we see that there's structures above Chess South Africa. So when we see issues happening within Chess South Africa, we think, let's report to those people in the structures above. And they come and they say, like, oh, well, there's nothing we can do. We are looking with a keen eye and interest to see the issue resolved. We know that you're the key role players. We're hoping that as a leader, a president, hoping from a distance, when you're supposed to be the catalyst, you're supposed to be involved in that thing, making resolutions, suggesting, giving advice, at least working on the matter, ensuring that things get to happen. Ensuring that Suzanne, because I think the president's name is Suzanne, ensuring that Hendrik du Toit gets to account for the reason why Chess South Africa hasn't had audited finances for the past 4 or 5 years, and that he's still unable to organize an elective AGM, and that he's running a board with only 2 members, because everybody just keeps resigning on him. I think we've heard a latest resignation from Dr. Omar, and that's the one that seemed to have rocked the boat, because in there he states clearly that he doesn't want to be part of whatever mess is happening. And he tries to distance himself from the finances that are taking place in there because he also hasn't seen and the audited financials from and he was the deputy president or the vice president. So imagine that. Because it's not just a resignation to say, I am no longer a part of this. It's a resignation that says, I distance myself completely because these people do not want to be advised by anyone. And I don't want to be a part of whatever schemes that they're playing. So we just keep saying and saying and saying that people from inside are coming out. It's not just rumors now. You see it when you see it in the letter of resignation from the deputy president, the vice president. Then you know that something is really happening in there. But then the president of the Zone 4.5 wants to tell you, no, we don't want to involve ourselves very much because SASCOC. So the fact that it's SASCOC in South Africa means that you don't have a role to play in the South African politics then, Zone 4.5. But you got votes from South Africa to be the president of Zone 4.5, and yet now you want to distance yourself. What's happening? I don't want to really cast aspersions, but the thing is, when people pay for votes, I don't understand why they have to work after they got their position. Because, I mean, if you work for a position for a road, well, then after you get it, you realize that you still have to continue working. But if you pay for it, you think, if you pay for something, it's supposed to work for you. I'm joking. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for even saying this. But I'm not sorry because you said you don't want to involve yourself and it's a matter of South Africa and SASCOC. You see, you shouldn't say things like that. And I don't want to be saying things like this as well because I don't know this woman. I only know that she had a beef with Malawi's number one player. And obviously in issues like that, we always take the side of the player. The issue of Mwale and Suzanne. I don't even know why I'm bringing all these things because they are irrelevant to this whole topic, but they are relevant because they are obviously showing us the character of the president of the Zone 4.5, the character of our leadership. And I hear another rumor, like I just keep moving around a lot because I'm not sitting down, I'm standing. I'm trying to fit in the frame because I don't want to mess around with this. So, so the other rumor is that Hendrik Dutoit, the president of Chess South Africa Expo, which is being dissolved slowly, is also treasurer of Zone 4.5. So there's questions about how could they work with this man? But anyway, yeah. So we don't know. We don't understand what's happening. So maybe that's the reason why they can't confront him and say, bruh, get your house in order in SA. Deal with the matter head on and fix it. Be a proper leader. Don't lead from a distance. Don't lead by threats. Don't lead by whatever is happening. So they can speak to him. And there's also another rumor that is part of a FIDE commission, some commission in FIDE. And that is why also FIDE cannot deal with him decisively. We don't know. It's just rumors that we're hearing. But what do we do about that? What can we do, right? Because a whole lot of things that we hear. But maybe he's planted in all of these places that they find it very difficult to deal with him or to, I don't know, man. Well, we don't know. But maybe that's just a rumor again. Rumors. But ACC, Africa Chess Confederation, Zone 4.5 leadership, FIDE, and of course, SASCOC as well. Nobody needs to be pointing fingers. And of course, the leadership of the provinces. Nobody needs to point fingers. But we applaud the leadership of the provinces because they've been writing letters left, right, and center. And they've been raising the issue with every chance they get. And they've been writing to FIDE, SASCOC, to ACC, and to Zone 4.5. So they're not just pointing fingers. But now, for the president of the Zone 4.5 to point fingers to saying, these people need to be doing something. These people need to be doing 1, 2, 3. What have you been doing? That's the question, though. Like, you need to let us know that, not that you've been looking or watching at the issue with a keen eye. Like, what steps have you taken to try and resolve the issue? Let us know that. We want to know that. You're the leadership. You're the elected leadership. So prove your worth, leaders. Prove your worth. And in the meantime, we're still working on the issues of Eric Lanzeni chairs as well. We know, again, there's the interim structure. It's becoming more and more official by the day because, there's no one else left to... But obviously, we challenge anyone that has an issue with the interim structure to come forward so that we can at least strengthen it. You come with an issue, we see what the issue is, we resolve the issue together, then we move forward. So yes, there is an interim structure at Etlazeni Chairs, and we want that interim structure to be visible so that if anybody has a problem with the interim structure, they will say what problem they have, and then we deal with the problem, and we're able to move forward. Because if we're scared to put the interim committee forward, then people won't say anything, and the interim committee won't be able to do anything. And if it at some point does something, people will come out and say we were not aware that there was such a committee, and then they will try and challenge the AGM, the elective one, and try to have it reversed. But we don't want situations like that. We want to move forward. And we know not everybody wants to move forward with us. People want to hold on to old titles. People want to hold on to, I don't know, old reputations or whatever. But we want to move forward, and we want to move forward with you. Everybody moves forward in chess. We create chess clubs. We create strong chess federations. We get funding. We sponsor our players. They move. They get to see the world. I mean, we've had players seeing the world. We want more and more players to see the world. We don't want to be talking about Manele every day. Like the best player to ever come out of the province, of the region of Etlazeni is Manele Mango. I mean, who else have you produced in the last 5 years? What does the future look like? Let's try to create a brighter future. We have a whole lot of kids with talent that deserve an opportunity. So let's give them that. Let's work on this. And no, man, it's been a nice freestyled episode once again. Woo, we're getting good at this. We're getting creative at this. We're getting to love this thing. I'm having to dance on this thing some other time. So yeah, peace and love. And remember to subscribe, because I don't have that thing on the board anymore that's going to be coming in and say, or be coming up and say, subscribe to the channel, please. I'll just remind you like this. Please subscribe to the channel. Please remember to subscribe. Please remember to subscribe. Yeah, man. Good evening. Good morning. Good day. Good time. Whatever time of the day it is, wherever you are. How does it sound? When it sounds better when it's like this? Or does it sound better when it's like this? You see, I'm also trying to figure out the sound. But if I had professionals, we'll be working on this together. Like, check 1 2 1 2 before we get to start shooting. Thank you for watching, and I love you for that. Whether you're a male or a female. But yeah, good one. Have a good eve.